Hello everyone, this is Chad Redding here with Ruck Outdoors. Today I'm going to be talking about the 10 C's of survival. There used to be 5 C's, but now there are 10, and because as people have gone out and done bushcraft, they realized there were some other things that weren't covered under the original 5 C's, and just other ideas were integrated into certain people's philosophies or how they do things, however you want to call it. But anyways, my friend James Parrish at Grey Wolf Outdoors, which is a really awesome group on Facebook. Check it out. It's really nice set of people. They got some challenges they do, so on and so forth. Stuff to really encourage you to get out and try different things and to teach you things. Anyways, on to the 10 C's. So the first one we have, actually this isn't one of the 10 C's, but it's actually something that you kind of need. So first thing you have is your conveyance, which the conveyance is what you use to carry your gear into the woods or forest or mountains or wherever you go. So my normal conveyance is this here, which is my Hidden Woodsman Deep Woods Ruck, and it's a really awesome pack. I have this one. This pack is designed for a Alice frame, but I have mine on a 10th Mountain Division frame, and I will show that eventually in another video on how I did that. And basically I have MOLLE straps, MOLLE belt, and an MSS carrier, which is underneath here. I really like this pack. One thing I like about it is it has a kind of old school feel to it, so I like the kind of older rucks without all the MOLLE and stuff on them, but yet it has the modern materials, which Malcolm's really good at that. And it is 65-liter capacity, but I've found that I can use this for day hiking also. I just kind of compress it down, and with the MSS carrier you can carry even more. But what's nice about that is, like what James said in his video, you can roll it up, stow it underneath just like this, and you have yourself a day ruck. So that's my normal conveyance. I also use this pouch here, which is my belt pouch, and that holds my fire kit, which we'll get onto that, and my finish marking bag or marking haversack, whatever you want to call it. Those are my 3 main conveyances. Usually I use, for a lightweight scouting day hike, I'll use the haversack and the fire kit. For a little longer trip, I'll take this. So anyways, on to the 10 C's. So the first one we have is cutting, and cutting can mean anything. You can a knife, an axe, saw. But my 3 main tools that I carry, first and foremost, is this. For those who have already seen this in another video, this is the, just kind of give you a close-up of it. This is the Scott Gossman Polaris. This particular one is in Python. This is actually my old knife that he redid. So that's my main knife or fixed blade. For axes, I'll usually either carry a tomahawk or this one here, which I really actually like. Just got this a little while ago and I've been using this a lot, and it's really growing on me. And this is the Gransfors Brooks outdoor axe, which are a really nice tool. Strong, stout, works really well. I can't complain. It's done everything I've asked it to do. My main saw is this, the Silky Big Boy. Now this isn't the one with the extra large teeth. These are just the large teeth, and believe it or not, this one does a lot for me. I mean, I could have got the extra large one, but I went with this one. I was using a Baco, but since I've gotten this, you can see this has a straight blade versus the curved blade on the yellow handle one. Since I've gotten this, I've become a fan of silky saws, so I think I'm going to get a Gomboy next, so I have a smaller saw. But this thing just, when I go camping and I need to process wood or cut something down, this will pretty much take down everything that I ask it to do. So that's cutting. So that's our first C. Our second C is combustion or firing. So I'm somebody that believes in 1 is none, 2 is 1, 3 is 2, and so on and so forth. So I do carry more than one way to make a fire. So just on my personal self, I carry this. I don't know if you can see it there, but this is the Exotac Titan light. It's a really awesome lighter. I mean, this is basically a Zippo with a waterproof case. Uses the same fuel as a Zippo, and it has an O-ring there. And what's nice about that is you can literally drop this thing in the water, and as long as this is on, it will light. I mean, this thing, another nice, is just awesome. And another nice thing about it is, unlike a Zippo which dries out after a while, even with the Ranger band, I've had this thing filled for 4 months. And I use it probably at least 2-3 times a week, and just doing, you know, craps and stuff, and it hasn't dried out yet. And to me, that was worth the money, because that is just a pain in the butt with the Zippo. I like the Zippo lighter, I just don't like the fact you got to constantly fill it. So I have that on my person. In my haversack, I have my main ferro rod. You know, this is a big one. This is kind of the one I use the most. It was one of my first ones. That's in there. And then here, in this leather pouch, which is by Randy's Stitched Gear. This whole pouch is basically my fire kit. So I have in here a waxed leather tinder bag. It's pretty much fire or waterproof. Then I have my actual fire bag itself, and this is the White Rabbit pouch by the Hidden Woodsman. And basically in here I have a set of UCO matches, waterproof matches. They work awesome. Steel striker, little Altoids tin that holds my char cloth for my flint and steel. My pocket bellows, which is, you know, if you don't have one of these, get one of these. They're an awesome little tool to have, really helps. Another ferro rod. This one happens to be a Uberleben Zunden. Works good. I've used it a couple times. I actually really like it. It is a really good little ferro rod. Quartz. I use quartz instead of flint for my flint and steel. And then I have another tin which has another piece of quartz, actual flint if I choose to use flint, and another striker. So yeah, I have a lot of redundancy in my fire kit. That's just, to me, that's really important. Also got in here some fat wood. So that's pretty much my fire kit. So I got combustion in spades. Also, usually inside my haversack, I have my MSR stove. I will also have a set of regular matches in there and a Bic lighter. So I have 2 lighters. So just like to have options, you know. I really like using flint and steel. That's my favorite method. But when it's nasty out, it can be a real pain. So I usually will go to the ferro rod then. So that's combustion. We'll put all that back in later. So next we have is container. So we're up to the 3rd C right now. And for a container, I usually have 2. So here I have my 48 ounce clean canteen. Of course, I got it from Cold Cracker. I'm gonna actually take a quick drink here because I am kind of thirsty. It's been hot out here today. So usually I'll have this in my pack, and then in my haversack Self-Reliance steel canteen. So I usually always have that in here along with the cut. That's kind of my main container, so pretty much I'm covered container wise. And I like having the stainless steel. It's strong, and what's nice about that is always have the ability to boil water if you want to. So on to the next one. So we're at number 4. So this is cordage. So I usually have a little hank paracord. This is about 15-20 feet. I use this to hang my food up, so that's usually in here. I also usually have 100-foot length in this pack also, so that pretty much covers me cordage wise, because you can pretty much use paracord for just about anything. So it's a lot easier to carry your own cordage versus having to make it in the bush, you know, in the woods. We got a lot of tulip poplar around here, so I could do it, but it just takes time, and you know, it's just a lot easier to carry your own cordage. It doesn't really weigh that much. So that's cordage. So cover. Now cover. Cover depends on what I'm doing. Mostly I use this, and this is a 10x10 tarp from Atoa Gear. I got this at bensbackwoods.com. 10x10 is a nice size. I mean, geez, you know, this is made in the USA, by the way. It's still nylon. It weighs about 2 pounds, which isn't bad. You can see it's not real big, it's not real bulky, and I like a tarp versus a tent or other means. Reason being is there's just so many different configurations you can do with a tarp. I mean, oh my, I mean, there's like just 15 I could think of offhand. My main configuration is a plow point. I like the plow point. I like having the 3 sides closed. I've done an A-frame, but my favorite is the plow point because you can just change it, make it bigger, and so on and so forth. That's usually my go-to. I've tried some other ones. Can't think of some offhand, but I think one was the Arrow, and that didn't have a lot of room, but I will say that's probably my favorite configuration, like I said before. A 10x10 is a nice size because it's big enough that you can do a lot with it, but it's not too small. So that I would say would be close to the ideal size for a tarp. So that's my main cover. Also, we'll use a tent once in a while, and I don't own a hammock. My other cover would be my US MSS bivy sack. That was probably my second most used cover. So if I want to do a quick camp and I want to just get out real quick and run a late or whatever, you know, and I know it's not going to downpour rain, you know, even if it does rain, you'll stay dry in that. I'll just roll the bivy sack out. Is probably the fastest and quickest way to get some cover, and you know, be able to have something if it rains on you, you don't get soaking wet. So that's covered. Now, next is candling, and I am a big fan of lamps. I will admit that. I like oil lamps. I've taken my Furhand into the woods. I really like candle lamps. So I have, just here in the pack right now, UCO candle lantern. This is a good little lantern. This particular one is brass. I got this from Cole Cracker. He does sell these, and it's a good little lantern. Right now I'm using the beeswax candles, and I like them. They seem to not make as much of a mess as the paraffin does. I mean, some people have had problems with it, some people haven't. I believe James Parrish has a oil lantern insert for his UCO. They're good little candles, or candle lanterns, good little lanterns. For bang for the buck, they're pretty good. I also use a Stonebridge lantern, which I don't have that here right now with me. That opens up, and that thing's over 100+ years old. I love that thing. It is phenomenal. Another thing I use is a headlamp. So this particular model is from Black Diamond. I forget what name it is, but you know, I always carry a headlamp. I do use that. I like the candle lanterns. They throw a lot of light for what they are, because I don't know, I just like lanterns. But this definitely works for when you need a lot of light. So that's pretty much candling. So we're halfway. Compass. I carry a compass in the haversack, in this pocket outside here. So this is a Sunto compass. So I do have a compass. I use that from time to time, you know, to take readings when I'm going in places I've never been before, and just to make sure I'm heading in the right direction. So I always have a compass on me. That's just something that I believe in having. Get it back in here. Okay, so that's pretty much compass, which is pretty much self-explanatory. Next we have canvas repair. So what I have, and once again in my haversack, what I did is I have a pill bottle, and I have some thread wrapped around the top of the lid. You can see that right there. There's some black thread, and that's heavy duty nylon thread, like you would use for to do upholstery and all that, outdoor upholstery, so it's not going to rot, and it's very, very strong thread. So that's my thread for repair. I have inside here 3 needles. I found the sail needles a little big, so I have an actual canvas needle. This needle is made for canvas. I have a carpet needle, which is a little smaller, and then I actually have a curved needle. So I carry 3 needles. They fit nicely in this little thing. I can put buttons in there and anything. And it's just a little pill bottle, and you know, it seals down, and it really works well. And while we're at it, since this is kind of a crossover, cargo tape. So as you can see, I have the bottle wrapped in duct tape. So and what that does also is that holds the ends of my thread down. So that's kind of my little carry-all repair kit. So if I were to get a rip in my pack or something like that, I can throw the duct tape on or stitch it or whatever I need to do. So that's a kind of a neat little repair kit I put together. And we got the cargo tape, so that pretty much covers that. So we're down to 1. So this is the last one. And the last one is cotton cloth. So as you can see, I have my bandana on, which I wear all the time in the woods. And this is actually a kerchief that is actually merino wool. So this is by North by North. Chad North makes awesome, almost like merino wool shamags, merino wool kerchiefs, and merino wool hood wraps, you know, like the hoods you put over your head. I really like them, like his stuff. This thing is cool in the summer, warm in the winter. You can use it, make it wet, cool yourself down, and you know, you can also use it to filter things. You know, it's just a good little piece of gear to have. I've used it a lot, you know, always have it here. So that's it's supposed to be cotton cloth, but I got something else for that. So basically I always have this, the merino wool kerchief by North. And then for my cotton, I always have this in my pocket, which is a mammoth flannel handkerchief by Cheryl at Foxlight Gear. And man, I like this thing. I use this a lot. I'll open it up, use it to hold, you know, my fat wood or to carry stuff. I'll use this too for that. And then this being cotton, since I don't really like to wear the cotton around my neck, this being cotton, I could in a pinch either shave some things off to get some tinder, or actually use it to make char cloth if I really needed to. But I usually have char cloth. So that being said, those are my 10 C's that I have in my kit, you know, that represent the 10 C's. And I want to see what all you guys have. So feel free to go to Gray Wolf. Anybody can do the challenges. Do the challenge, and easy one to do. I think there's now 6 total. So get them done. We'll send you badges, and till next time, fair weather and safe journeys.